Hello, Tim from Fair Play now on the 18th of April 2023. So this is the third video in my Suspicious Snippets series, and I want to concentrate on a certain test, Papa Charlie Romeo. I'm sure you know the one. And the suspicions I've got around this are, well, three main ones really. First of all, and I've got to say, I've never ever had one of these tests, so thankfully I don't really know what's involved with them and what they look like, apart from the fact that it involves a great long cotton bud, probably about 3 times as long as a normal one you use for your ears or whatever, and you have to sort of shove it not just a little bit up your nose, but for some reason you have to shove it way up there. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and the thing I find so suspicious about it is if you can supposedly catch this lurgy just from any little bit of spit flying out of your mouth, which is after all part of the reason why they said you had to wear muzzles, then why can't you just spit on the end of it, or just sort of quickly stick it just in your mouth or on your tongue, tip of your tongue, or just slightly up your nose? Why do you have to sort of push it all the way up there? So that never sat right with me, and I always found that highly suspicious. The second suspicious thing is the inventor of that particular test, a Dr. Kerry Mullis, I think he was, and he actually is on record for saying that that test should never ever be used for in the way it was used. It shouldn't be used as a diagnostic tool in its own right like they were doing. It's really, according to him, just a backup thing. You already suspect through other tests and diagnoses that someone's got a particular lurgy, and then you just use it as a backup. And he would have been, in the early days of 2020 and the lurgy, he would have been screaming that from the rooftops, but very conveniently for some, he passed away in the summer of 2019. And I don't think he was particularly old. I think he was in his early 70s, but I think he was healthy, and there was not really any reason why he should pass away. So all a little bit strange, and his death very convenient for these people who wanted to end up using this test in the way that he was saying it shouldn't be. So another suspicious thing. And then the third thing I found so suspicious about these tests is whenever a new variant came along, they would be, they'd literally, like the one that starts with O, for instance, they literally started going on about it one day, and then a few days later, just within 3 or 4 days, they were saying, the cases of the O variant are rising, etc. But how do you know? Or how did they know that it was the O variant and not any other variant, or indeed any other lurgy? Did they kind of in just 2 or 3 days invent a completely new test, or alter the testing processes so it could detect these new variants and get these tests out to every single testing centre there was? No, I don't think that would have happened in just 2 or 3 days. So how could they know from these tests? And it's since emerged that they can't even distinguish the lurgy from any other general kind of lurgy, let alone distinguish the variants within the particular lurgy I'm talking about. So just another very, very suspicious one. And the final bit of suspicion I've got concerning these tests is the cycles of amplification. It's a well-known fact that if you go much above 25, 30 cycles of amplification, the tests are meaningless. And it's a well-known fact that the November Hotel Sierra were using them at more like 40. This was pretty common knowledge. As far as I knew about it, and I'm just an electrician, so if I can find out about that, why couldn't doctors and consultants and nurses and everyone else involved with this thing, why couldn't they realise that and say, hang on a minute, there's just something a bit weird here, isn't there? A bit suspicious. Why are you using such high amplification cycles on this thing? So just a little bit suspicious. And you have to think, with all of these suspicious things, were they really that stupid, that ignorant, or was there something else rather more sinister afoot? I'll let you decide on that one, and I'll leave it for today. Back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.